Hello, everyone, and welcome to my documentary about helping people through the snowstorms. I've always loved playing in the snow. I've tried to help people out when it snows for most of my life. I usually try to focus on necessities and people who are stranded out in the storm and really need all the help that they can get, whether it's delivering medicine to them or food and diapers and things they might need in order to survive, or being able to take somebody warm if they're cold, or sometimes even taking them firewood if they need firewood. And I also take people to the doctor and pick them up from the doctor and take them home a lot as well. On May 2nd last year, I started this documentary of trying to make a positive video a day for an entire year. I made a promise to my son that I'd try and help the world any way I can, so I'm on a mission trying to fulfill that promise. This video is just a mini documentary I'm making about helping people through the snowstorms, and that mini documentary is just a smaller section of my entire page that I've been doing for almost a year now. Feel free to scroll through my page and check it all out. I originally published this in 12 different parts, and I made a video for each individual part. So this documentary is going to be about one of my favorite things to do in the whole world. It all started when I was a little kid. I don't know what it is, but something about the snow. I've just always loved going and playing in it. And anything with wheels, there's something about sliding around that I just love, whether it's snow or gravel roads or just anything in general, anything drifting, anything like that. There's something about the feeling that just really appeals to me and something that I just inside of me love. And so, as a kid, I always had bicycles and stuff, and I'd always go out and ride my bike in the snow, and I'd bust my ass, and I didn't mind. I loved it. And from there, once I got older, I got quads and four-wheelers and cars, of course. And I mean, the second it would snow, I would always take my four-wheelers out and go play in it. Just loved it. I mean, it was so much fun to ride my sport quads and stuff in the snow and just rip it up. But it didn't matter what it was. I enjoyed driving any kind of wheeled vehicle in the snow. Let's just say a lot of parking lots have been torn up in my lifetime. And so growing up, I definitely lived for that, and we lived in a rural area where there's gravel roads everywhere with big, huge hills and curves and all that. And so there's nobody on the gravel roads, and you can tell, especially when it's fresh snow, so you can drift all the gravel roads, and it's really a great time. And then if you got like a two-wheel drive, especially like a two-wheel drive truck with no weight in the back of it, it is really hard to get around. That is a feat to try and get around up and down big hills and stuff. And I loved it. I'd look forward to that stuff. I would live for it and just go and get momentum and just get going. And the key to driving in the snow is momentum and just being able to control the drift. And it's a controlled slide, and it's enjoyable to me, like I said. And some people would think it'd be crazy to go driving a two-wheel drive truck and just love it going out doing crazy stuff, but that's pretty much what I did from the moment I could drive. I just would always go out and play in the snow, and I just never really looked back. Every single vehicle I've had, anytime there's snow on the ground, that's what I go do, and it doesn't really even matter what kind of car I have. I still go do it. My first car was a 74 Firebird, followed by a Ford Taurus SHO. I had friends wreck both my first two cars, and then an assortment of other cars. I think I had a Ford Escort GT. I had an old square body Chevy two-wheel drive. I had a little Datsun or something like that pickup, two-wheel drive, just a tiny little truck, and just a bunch of random weird cars that I went through as a younger kid, and just drove all kinds of weird stuff. I've always seemed to go through cars quite a bit, not because I wreck them, but usually because I end up having mechanical problems. And a lot of times it's just because I get bored with them and want to drive something different. I don't know. As I got older, I got a little bit more money, and I started to get some nicer cars. Had a Ford Mustang GT, and I had a Ford Lightning, and that truck, man, it made that freaking Mustang GT look like a go-kart. That truck was so fast. It was awesome. Had a lot of fun in it. It was pretty cool. And then I had to trade it away for a good work truck, which it was a logical thing to do. So I traded it for a big Ford F-250 7.3. And having that truck, man, its four-wheel drive worked so good, I was pretty much unstoppable. But it didn't matter what I was driving, any year, any time. If there was snow on the ground, I could promise you that I was out in it in whatever vehicle it was. I always loved something really extremely challenging, and it's the same thing as far as pulling people out of the ditch or getting somewhere difficult. I would thrive on that and look forward to it. So I have always, when it snows, I always just go out looking and driving in it, just completely having fun. But as I go, I look forward to being able to pull people out or go up hard hills or something, because that was what I just live for. I love it. The adrenaline rush or whatever it is, I don't know. But I really enjoy it. And I just naturally did it every year. And I would just go out and play in it. Not really, it wouldn't be my goal to really help people. I would be playing, and if somebody needed help, boy, that's a bonus, because now I get to see if I can pull you out. I would love the challenge of that. But then I took it to the next level. And I had to go back on Facebook and see what year it was, but it was 2011, and we got a really bad snowstorm. I think we had like 2 feet of snow on the ground, and I had a big Ford F-250 4-door 4x4, really good truck, and I bought brand new snow tires right before the storm, and it was like the best snow tires I could buy and stuff. They were big and nasty and meaty, and I had a pallet of tile in the bed of my truck, which is 2,000 pounds, and it's just a solid block of weight. And I just kept it back there. It was extra tile that was going to be thrown in the dumpster, and I was just saving it, and I just happened to have it in my truck at the time, and I was like, well, I'm just going to leave it back there and keep it in the back of the truck. And boy, that made it to where that thing would go anywhere. And I had it strapped down real good and stuff, so it wouldn't slide, because I definitely may or may not have been drifting. No, I definitely was drifting. It was a fun snow for me, because I could just go out and play in it, and all kinds of people needed help in that one. Man, I was staying pretty busy with that. So I went to go check on my mom, and was ripping donuts in her driveway, and I look and I see an ambulance coming down the road, and boy, it's drifting sideways, and I can see it. It's just completely drifting, going down the whole road. And I'm like, well, that's different. And I can tell that it's struggling with all it has to just try and make it down the road. It's just barely making it, and just doing everything. Poor driver's doing everything he can to keep her under control. And it's coming at me, and I'm watching it. I'm just watching it going, okay, this is exciting. And then literally right in front of me, it just drifts all the way sideways and goes right into the ditch. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is different. So I get out of my truck and I go up to the driver, and I'm like, hey buddy, are you all right? Is everything okay? And he's like, yeah, we had an emergency down the road, and one of my chains broke, and I'm trying to get back to the main road, and my other chain just now broke off right in front of your house right here. And I'm like, oh man, that's terrible. And I was like, do you got somebody in the back? Do we need to take them to the hospital? I'm ready to go. What needs done? And he's like, no, somebody came through in another little Ford Ranger 4-wheel drive, and they were able to take them to the hospital. I think it might have been a police officer or something, but it wasn't like a super emergency, but just enough to where they needed to go to the hospital. But that left him completely stuck, and so he didn't have any chains. He didn't have anything, and this was a big ambulance. This wasn't one of the little ones. This was a big one. And he was like, yeah, I'm completely stuck here. The one chain, once it snapped, I was trying to make it and thought I could make it to the road. And it was about 2 miles from my mom's house there to the end of O Road, where 5 intersected. And 5 had been completely cleared off and was all clear and good to go. He could have made that on it, no problem. But O Road, it was completely full. It hadn't been plowed at all, and it was just still 2 foot of snow. And I think before they went down, I was like one of the only people that had even went down it. And so he's like, yeah, I'm just going to wait here for a tow truck. And I'm like, dude, a tow truck is going to take forever. They are so busy. They don't even, dude. And I knew they were coming from, I think, Osage even. And I'm like, you're going to be waiting here forever. That's not a good thing. And he was like, well, that's just the way it is. There's nothing I can do. And I'm like, you know what? I think I could pull you out. And he's like, yeah, right. You ain't pulling this big thing out. This thing's huge. And there's no way you're going to be able to pull it out. And I'm like, well, there's no problem in just trying, is there? And he's like, well, whatever. And he's laughing at me. He's like, yeah, sure thing, buddy. If you want to try it, you just go right ahead. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's all right. And I'm talking to him, and I get it all strapped up, and I'm like, okay, man. I'm like, here's the deal. If I get you out, you don't have any chains, so we're going to have to get you all the way to end O Road. And this is just going to happen again. You didn't even make it hardly at all with one chain. I know with no chains, you ain't going to go anywhere. So we're going to have to pull you all the way to O Road. And if I do get you out, I'm just going to keep pulling you for the whole 2 miles all the way to O Road. And at this point, he's just kind of chuckling, and he's going, yeah, right, bud. He's like, I know you ain't going to pull me out, so it doesn't even really matter. But sure, if you get me out, go ahead and pull me all the way to the end of O Road, okay? And I'm like, okay, all right, so just be ready, because I ain't going to let up, and we're going to go, and I'm just going to have to pull you, and we're going to have to keep momentum to get all the way to the end, because once I get momentum, it's all key, And he's like, okay, sure, no problem, man, no problem. And he's just chuckling. I'm like, okay, all right, let's do this. And I pull the strap all nice and tight. I try and pull him, and man, it doesn't go anywhere. I'm like, man, this thing is heavy. I thought for sure I'd be able to pull him out. And so I go back and I get a little run, and it budges. And I'm like, oh, all right, it's over now. I was like, I know I can do this. And I went back a little bit more. And I mean, I got just a little bit more of a run, and that was all it took, man. I gave her a little bump and got that thing going, and once it just barely got going, it was enough momentum. And I mean, I just held my foot to the floor and pulled with everything that poor old truck had. And I mean, I ripped it, man, and it pulled it right up out of that ditch, man, and pulled that ambulance up, and we were on the road. And that's when the fun began, because at that point I'm like, man, I have to take him all the way to O Road at the end of this. I was like, me and him are pot committed now. We are buddies, and we are tied together, and this is an adventure. Let's go, bro. And at that point, I won't lie, my pride was a little hurt from him laughing at me, and that might have been replaying in my head a little bit, because then I was the one laughing. Suddenly, it went from being laughed at to being the laugher. And I'm like, oh, buddy. And, I could see the guy was a driver. I kind of watched him before, and I knew he could drive that thing. So I'm like, oh, let's go, bro. And we're going down the road, and I had to keep momentum, and it's just me and him, whole road to ourselves. And I'm not going real fast. I'm only doing 20, 30 miles an hour. But to him, in the ambulance, I mean, he is just slipping all over, and I'm looking in the back in my rearview mirror, and it looks like I'm pulling a skier. I mean, he's just going completely sideways from one side of the road to the other, and just drifting, and he's controlling it like a boss, man. He's doing great. And we're just going down the road, and that thing's just drifting sideways, and we're going, and you can tell that he's not the biggest fan, and he's like trying to flash his lights at me and stuff, and I knew that he had it, and I'm watching, and I'm like, okay, bud, you got this, man. Just have faith. I'm not stopping. And I mean, it really wasn't that far. And, I mean, it wasn't like we were going fast. We're only doing 20, 30 miles an hour. But like I said, in 2 foot of snow, we're in an ambulance, a big old dually ambulance with no, change or nothing. I mean, it was an adventure. And, yeah, he just, we went all the way down, and made our nice little fishtail pass all the way through, and through up the hills I had to really give her, and we made it all the way to the main Highway 5, and we pulled over and got out, and man, he was all white knuckle, and you could tell he was a little stressed, and he was like, oh, we made it, man. And I'm like, yeah, I figured we'd make it. And he's like, there ain't no way. There is no way I thought any of that was gonna happen. I was like, yeah. I was like, I tried to tell you that we're gonna go all the way. And he's like, I didn't believe you. I didn't think it was gonna happen. And he's like, I kind of wanted to pull over there. And I was like, yeah, I saw that, but I had faith in you. And he's like, well, I'm glad you did. And I'm like, yeah, I was watching you. You had it, bud. And he's like, oh, man, that was freaking crazy. I'm like, you did good, man. That's awesome. I think that's great. And he's like, yeah, that was pretty cool, I guess. And he didn't seem to appreciate it nearly as much as I did. So it was, I was like, all right. And he's like, man, you don't even know. A record company would have charged a lot of money to do that. He's like, you can go by the ambulance station anytime you want. They'll cut you a check and give you a check for pulling us out there. You just charge whatever you want. I'm like, man, I don't want anything. I was like, that was one of the highlights of my life, man. That was great. Like, that's a story to tell for the rest of my life. Are you kidding me? Like, no, heck no, I ain't charging for that. I live for this stuff. And from that moment, I realized that I live for this stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess instead of just going out and playing with it, there's always going to be people that are needing help and stuff. So why don't I just focus my time on helping people? And that gives me an excuse to go play in it and challenge myself and do all the hard stuff anyway, and I'll be able to help people all at once. And I'll just get 2 birds stoned at once, and it'll be a great thing. And I can just help people, and it'll be a good time, and I can play in the snow, I can help people, and it just all works out. And so that's what started this whole adventure, and me publicly posting to try and to want to help people in the snow and doing everything I do. That ambulance adventure that I pulled him through a couple miles, it sparked it. And since then, every year it snows, I put it on Facebook that I'll be willing to help anybody. I spend the first 2 to 4 days helping people. I just help out for however long it takes them to clear the main roads and then all the side roads. Even though the main roads are clear, the side roads, especially around here at the lake, are all hilly and bad, so people are still stranded at their homes and can't get out or get to the doctor or get food or medicine or whatever they need. So that's where I come in, and I offer to take people to the doctor or pick up medicine or food or diapers or just anything. I try to be sure to only focus on necessities, and I don't take any money. I just do it all out of the kindness of my heart because I love it. It's great. It's just something I love doing, and sometimes it's firewood, sometimes it's all kinds of stuff. You never know what people will need. It makes me feel good to be able to help people too, you know. It's nice to be able to help someone that's really in a tight spot, and that's why I like to try to do it, is just because I know what it's like to be in a tight spot in this world, and I've been in some hard places, and if I can do something to help somebody else that may be stressing or in a tight spot, I want to. And it really it means a lot to me to be able to see the consequences of my actions, I guess, except in a good way. There's been times in my life where I haven't been the best person and done bad things and had to face those other consequences. But the consequences of helping people is you get to see people's life change, and you get to see them flourish and be happy, and just bring them up. And it's always so much better to try and bring up our fellow human than drag them down. I really enjoy this more than I could explain. It's a good thing that I really like doing. Anytime it snows, I'll spend the next couple of days always helping people. Just however long it takes for them to clear the main road and then all the side roads, because even though the main roads are clear, the side roads will still be filled up and people can't get out because of that, especially here at the lake with all the hills. But usually around three or 4 days, I'll spend just doing nothing but giving people rides, pulling people out. I stay busy nonstop, sun up till sundown. And it's just what I do, and I just live for it. I love it. It's such a fun thing to me, and I got all the cold gear. I got Under Armour stuff to keep me warm, and Carhartts and muck boots, and I mean, I dress appropriately for it, and I don't mind at all. I'm kind of a warm-blooded creature anyway. I like the cold more than the hot. I've got heat stroke once, and I don't do hot very well, and I like the cold. It's kind of weird. It's just one of those things I do, and so now I've just always done it, and it's led me on this journey to where I've got now, and I've done a lot of years of it. I know in one of these posts, I took a screenshot of just looking back, and that's the oldest one I could find was 2011, the one with the ambulance, but I know I'd done it a lot of years before that. But that was the year, like I said, that sparked it all off. And then there's another one that says, like, in 2022, I had COVID. I still was out driving around helping people, doing stuff, delivering medicine, food and stuff. I'd sanitize it when I deliver it. I never officially tested. I knew that I had COVID because I had given multiple people rides that had COVID. I always tried to wipe down my truck and spray Lysol and stuff, keep everything disinfected, but I knew it was coming eventually. I'd never had it before then, and I'm just sure I got it by giving people rides. I knew I was going to have to get it at some point, build an immunity to it anyway, so I didn't mind at all. It was just something I was putting myself out into and ready to do, I mean, it didn't bother me. If you're going to try and help sick people, you got to be prepared to get sick yourself, So yeah, I guess just going full circle back to the beginning, that's just what I'm trying to do, is help people. But that's my story on how this all started and how this all began. I grew up kind of wild and loving to play in the snow, and it led me down the journey to where I am now. I really don't like to post or try and brag or anything about what I'm doing and helping people and stuff. It just feels weird and awkward. I just always throw it out there that I'm willing to help and go from there. Making these videos and stuff, it feels kind of weird, almost like I'm trying to brag or something, and I'm not. I do it every year, and I never say anything. I don't put it out there like this. But I'm trying to kind of lead the world in some positivity and just show, boots on the ground, what you can do to try and help the world, and that you can do it. You just got to go out there and try. And instead of waiting on the government to do it or hoping somebody else would do it, just pick it up upon yourself and go out into your community right where you're standing and make the community where you're at the best you can. And it doesn't matter what you do. Everybody kind of has something that they can contribute to the world. Everyone has a special skill. Mine happens to be driving. I'm an excellent driver. I've had a CDL. I've climbed insane hills on quads. I've done drifting in just about any kind of car you could imagine. And that's just what I do. But we all have something. All I wish for is for everybody out there to just show your fellow human a little compassion. And if somebody needs help, try and help them. And whatever your skill is, try and utilize that to help others. Whether it's gardening or running heavy equipment or writing or quilt making or being good with computers or anything. We all are good at something. We all have a special skill. Maybe if we all just bring each other up instead of dragging each other down, we can all make this world a better place. So that's why I started this YouTube page. I try and create positivity, and that's all I'm trying to do here, is just create a little positivity. I'm doing it all as a promise to my son who passed away, and that's the reason why I'm putting this all out here and doing it all like this. I'm trying to hope that others may see it and may take it and run with it and do something on their own. And it's not just me. There's been a lot of people around here that are working their hearts out to try and help this community, and it's a beautiful thing to see. I can't tell everyone how much I appreciate all the hard work everybody's putting in. It's absolutely amazing. And there are a couple people that have really went above and beyond. The Duns, Aaron and Aaron, and Justin with Hope Ministries, and the Sarge. Those guys have just put their whole heart and soul into helping their community through the snowstorm. And they are carrying on and continue to do great things. And it's just really awesome to watch. And I have only personally got to meet Mr. Aaron Dunn when my truck was broke down, and he helped me deliver some food to some people that needed it and were stranded. And Justin and George I still haven't got to meet yet, but I look forward to the day I do. And they do a lot to try and help, and there's just a lot of people all over the lake. I see it. It's really starting to flourish, and it seems to kind of have an impact. I'm just one guy doing what I can to try and create some positivity in the world, but it seems to be actually helping, and transferring and flourishing. Sometimes someone putting themselves out there and showing it can be done encourages others to follow their heart and do what their heart is guiding them to do. We just have to be brave enough to take that first step and put ourselves out there. But after that, things always seem to multiply. I'm not going to say at all I'm the reason they're doing this. I know they all have amazing morals and believe in God and are doing it because that's their beliefs and that's what they feel all the way through to their soul. And they just want to help their country and help their community. They all have their reasons for doing it. But it just seems that the more people that start doing it and leading the way, the more people get on board, and it just seems to multiply. It's like planting a seed and then watching it flower. And when talking about people leading the way and positivity for the community, I have to talk about Will Holtz with Lake Media and everything that man is doing to help the lake area. He really puts his heart and soul into what he does and into creating honest and open media. I greatly appreciate that man for all he is doing for the lake and everything he's done to help me. I'll get to that here in future videos. The positivity that we're creating seems to keep going forward, and I can't tell this entire community how much I appreciate everyone for all the positiveness and all the love and just everything. This is a wonderful community, and I've watched it do amazing things, and I thank you all from the bottom of my heart. So this was from the first snowstorm of the year. We got hit pretty hard up north towards Kansas City. They got, I think, close to 20 inches. Down here at the lake, we got more like 10, but there's definitely ice involved, and it was pretty nasty. I know it's got to be a terrifying feeling for a lot of people to be completely stranded, because a lot of people don't have a 4x4 truck or the ability to get out or aren't that good at driving in it, and they're scared of being out in it. And so it's just an absolutely hopeless feeling to not be able to go anywhere and to just be completely stranded where you're at. I empathize a lot with people, and I don't like the thought of people just having to worry and stress. And so I try to do all I can to help ease people's worries, and I do all I can to try and help people. I have a skill to where I took my ability to play and just love playing in the snow, and I use it to try and in turn do what I can to help those in need whenever it snows really bad like this. And that's just what I focus my time on doing, and I do it every year, and it's just something I really enjoy doing. I actually kind of like the cold. I got heat stroke years ago, and I really don't like the hot, so I function much better in the cold. I have all the Under Armour gear and Carhartts and muck boots and all that good stuff I need, so I be sure to stay warm. And I just go out and I do all I can to try and help people through the storms. So when it snows bad like this, I always make a public post on Facebook that I'm willing to help people out, and I just post it to all the local groups, and I give everybody my phone number and tell them if they need anything that's a necessity, I'll be happy to help out and go from there. So this is going to be the first post I made of the year for the first snowstorm of the year. If anyone out there needs help and is stranded or in need of necessities, I will gladly help out for free. Please don't hesitate to call me anytime at 573-286-8316. I am an extremely good driver with a good working 4x4 that I just now fixed. I'm wanting to focus on essentials like medicine, food, doctor visits, heater or wood deliveries, or childcare needs. And if someone is without power or heat, I will gladly pick you up and take you and your family somewhere warm. Same goes if you're stuck in a ditch with no help. I can try and pull you out or give you a ride if you're stranded. I know how stressful and helpless it is to feel stranded, and that some of you may be very worried. Just know I love the driving challenge, and I don't mind helping at all in any way I can. So hopefully it will ease the tension knowing I will be available to help out. Please only make it for essential items or necessities. But if anyone is in any kind of need at all, please reach out. I will gladly help out, free of charge. 573-286-8316. Thanks, everyone. So I made that post the night the storm rolled in, and the next morning it was pretty bad, and I just went non-stop for 4 days straight helping people, and it was pretty much day and night. I would wake up in the morning, and sometimes I would have to give people rides. There was one lady that wanted to ride at 4:30, and I had to push it back a little bit. I think I was able to get her there at 6, but I pretty much went non-stop for 4 days. I would just go and leave the truck running from the time I woke up and started it until all day at night. Usually it would be about 10 or 11 when I'd get home, and I'd wake up and do it again, and I did it for 4 days straight. I usually helped roughly 10 to 20 people a day, somewhere in that range. It's really hard to keep track of everything I did and everybody I helped. I know right when I started, I think the first lady was somebody who was having heart problems. She had a pacemaker, and she had to get a ride to the hospital in an ambulance in the middle of the snowstorm and stuff. After she went to the hospital, she was all good to go and ready to get out, but had no way to get home. So I went and picked her up and took her home. And after I did that, I picked up another gentleman from the hospital and took him to Eldon. During that journey, I also was able to help out a family there that was needing a heater and a bunch of food and stuff. And I bought them all that stuff and was able to deliver it to them while I was taking him home. And I just went about the rest of my day after that. It's it all kind of clusters and mixes together. But like I said, I give people rides, families and kids and stuff with kids to places where they were warm, and I delivered lots of food, just picked up lots of people, took medicine. I did some firewood, took a guy some firewood, and I was able to get it from a entrepreneur young man. I think he was 10 or 12, and he had just worked in the summer to split up a bunch of firewood and planned ahead. And this young man, I mean, he really put his heart and soul into it and did all that work. And I was glad I was able to buy that firewood from him. And I was able to help everybody out. It was great. There was even a point to where once there was a lady that was needing help at 3:30 in the morning. And I woke up and she was just sleeping in her car and didn't have anywhere else to go, and was out of gas, getting ready to run out of gas. So I woke up and put gas in her car and gave her a little bit of money for some food and a little bit of money to hopefully try and get somewhere warm. The warming shelter there in Osage Beach, or really anywhere, they only accepted people from 9 to 10 at night. So at 3:30 in the morning, she wasn't able to get in there, which was kind of inconvenient. Now, I'm not trying to complain about the warming shelters or anything. It's a great service that they do, and I really appreciate everything that they do. And it just kind of made it hard to help people because there was just certain time limits where you could come in and out, and it just made it a little bit difficult. There was a couple different times to where I had people that were trying to find somewhere warm and get out of the cold, and there was just no option, nowhere. And it's just, I think that there's a need there that we kind of need to try and fill in some way, shape, or form. I don't know what the answer is, but it's just something that I think that we should try and maybe work on a little bit. But like I said, I went pretty much 4 days straight, just helping people nonstop, sun up till sundown, pretty much from about 6 in the morning till 10, 11 at night, and did it all out of pocket right before it started. I did a little job, had $1,300 in my pocket, and just went, and just did all I could to try and help everybody. And unfortunately, on day 4, right when it was starting to get dark, so it was probably 7 o'clock at night, I was on the way to go help some people, and my truck broke down, and it was super inconvenient and a very bad time. I was just depending on it to continue to keep running, and it was just an unforeseen problem that had arose. And once it broke down, I looked in my pocket, and I had less than $100, and I realized that I was in a tight spot. I'd just spent all my money helping people, and I didn't really have anything, and I knew I could borrow money from people, and it was going to be all right. So that's my thing in my pocket, is that I know if I have to, I can borrow money and then resell stuff and get back on my feet. It's just a temporary thing. So I knew I would be okay, and I just get super hyper focused on things, and I was so hyper focused on helping people that I kind of had tunnel vision. I didn't really look outside of it until my truck broke down, and then I realized, oh, I'm kind of in a tight spot. So that's just where I was at with everything, unfortunately, and it kind of was inconvenient, but it was just part of life, and this is life. And I had worked my truck really hard going to North Carolina, and I'd worked it hard in the snow, and I'd even been doing donuts in the snow. I won't lie, I'd been having some fun. So my poor truck had been worked pretty hard, and it just needed a little bit of love. And so I got a tow truck to bring it back to the house, and I just started trying to tinker on it and work on it. But that, unfortunately, had put an end to me being able to help people in the snowstorm. So that was how I ended the first big snowstorm of the year. This video is going to be about the update I made on Facebook. After helping out for 4 days through the snowstorm, my truck had broke down, and there was another little storm coming. It was calling for another couple inches, so I was going to just let everybody know that I couldn't make it out into the snowstorm and help people. And I was really feeling kind of guilty and kind of bad, because I know that everybody kind of depends on me when I'm out there doing that, and it just made me kind of sad and disappointed in myself. I just wish I was going to be able to help people, and I was just trying to let everybody know that I wasn't going to be able to be out there to help them. And I just, that way people could kind of plan ahead and try and figure something else out. I felt really bad that I wasn't going to be able to help people, and I feel like I let everybody down. But here's the post I made. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm not going to be able to help out with this new snowstorm. My truck is broken down, and I've spread myself a little thin right now. It might be a little bit before I get it going. Sorry, I'm not going to be able to be there for everyone. So I made that post, and then I just started trying to figure out what was wrong with my truck. There were a lot of things that needed just a little love and maintenance on that I had been neglecting because I'd just been pushing so far. And there were just things I knew I needed to do, and unfortunately, in the freezing cold and the snow was when I got lucky enough to be able to just decide to do them. And where the wrecker had dropped my truck, it was in the snow, so I had to keep crawling underneath it. A lot of it was the starter. I think I might have took it on and off 3 times. I took it to O'Reilly's and had it tested. The test at O'Reilly said it was good. And after a couple more times of taking it on and off, I realized that the starter wasn't any good and I needed a new one. Even when I put the new one on, I guess I over-tightened one of the electrical bolts and broke it. But I was able to rig it up enough to where I could at least start the truck and start diagnosing the problems that it had before it wouldn't even start. So there were some electrical issues and stuff that I had to clean up and get good enough to where it would fire up. The batteries were dead. I had to get new batteries. There was just a lot of stuff that were going on with it. But then it would start and just barely idle, and if I tried to give it any gas, it would die and then not want to start again. So there were a plethora of things I was worried about. It wasn't getting fuel, and I was worried it was going to be the H-pop, which on a Ford 7.3, it's about $3,000 to do for somebody else. I don't feel confident enough to do it, and it's one of the big things that tend to go out on a 7.3, and I'm a little worried about it. I might be a bit of a hypochondriac. It's kind of like a hypochondriac except with cars. But just with that one thing, with the H-pop, I'm a bit of a hypochondriac. Everything else I tend to turn the radio up more, I guess. No, I'm just kidding, but you just got to address what you can when you can. And like I said, I've just been pushing myself a little bit, and there's some maintenance that needed done, and I knew it needed done, and that's why I kind of made the post to let everybody know that it was just going to be a little bit. And I'd spread myself out thin through the storm, and I had a very limited budget. I was trying to do everything as cheap as possible, because I don't like borrowing money, and I'm like that, and I was just doing all I could to try and fix my truck, and I was staying focused on that and trying to get it back on the road. This next video is going to cover the story that Lake TV did about me. William Holtz runs Lake TV, and he's just an amazing human. He does all kinds of wonderful things to always help this community, and he always stands up for freedom and never backs down. I greatly appreciate everything he is doing for Lake of the Ozarks. I truly admire all his honesty, integrity, and fortitude in everything he does. Like I said, he owns a local TV station here, and this is one of the segments they ran on me. I won't lie, it feels really weird having everybody talk about me and put me in the limelight. I'm not doing this for me at all. I'm doing this all as a promise to my son, and I always try and help the world. I personally am always weird being on camera. I don't like being on camera. I don't really like the attention and all that. It feels weird, and I'm just always kind of a bit more reclusive, I guess, which is really kind of counterproductive when I'm trying to make a whole YouTube page and try and reach people as far as I can. So it's like this inner battle I'm always struggling with myself of not liking to be on camera and not liking the limelight shined on me, and just I always kind of keep to myself, and I've kind of been more of a loner my whole life. I mean, I got a lot of friends and stuff, but I don't know. It's hard to explain. But this feels weird, but I'm gonna share it, and I greatly appreciate what everybody's doing and all the love and care and compassion that everyone's shown me. And I really appreciate Will and Lake TV and for just helping out and for doing this story. Thank you guys. I couldn't figure out how to download it, so I just recorded it on another phone. So it works, but sorry about the quality.
We want to celebrate a local hero among us, one in particular, Josh Butterfield, who Saturday, early Sunday, had posted to Facebook, and I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah, he said, if anybody out there needs help and is stranded or in need of necessities, I will gladly help out for free. Please don't hesitate to call me anytime. And he put his phone number on here. He says, I'm extremely good driver with good working 4x4, and it's free of charge. How amazing is that?
Yeah, and it's one thing just to put that out there and to help one or two people, right? That's still pretty incredible. Mm-hmm. Josh spent the next 36 hours after this post doing just that. Reports came in. I posted a Lake Area Happenings and say, hey, all of you that have been impacted by the selflessness of Josh Butterfield, please drop in the comments below. Over 450 comments.
Wow.
As of Tuesday morning, the time we recorded, everything from giving free rides, taking me to my doctor's appointment, bringing firewood. We needed food. He needed beef. We needed taken over to our mom's house because our power went out. He came over and helped get our HVAC system back up. Took me to work 15 years ago, moved me and my daughter into one of his rentals and didn't charge us initially so we could get off. So it's not just a brand new thing. This is who Josh Butterfield is. And if you look at the hurricanes that we had, the victims in North Carolina, there were a lot of rescue efforts. Yeah. Josh has a YouTube page called Butterfield Unleashed. I highly encourage you to go to subscribe to that channel, support Josh, check out some of that content because he's been out there selflessly serving those in need and well. One of the things that I thought was most touching of all of these wasn't a bad weather situation maybe, or our good friend Deb Ellers. She had bronchitis, and Josh Butterfield unexpectedly took her, got her to her appointment because she had no one else. And you see the amount of people that said this guy is an angel. We're so lucky to have him. And we want to do something for Josh. We're not sure exactly what that is. We think Casey's gift cards to help him with some fuel, food as he's out bringing people food, taking them to and from. We want to get behind that, and we want you and our community to help support that as well. So if you've got any ideas, we're currently talking with Central Bank about getting an account set up there or Casey's as far as a gift card fund. But if you've got any ideas, we'd love to hear those. We'd love to see how we can help get behind this guy. I mean, how unbelievable is one thing, right? If you need to give somebody money or let someone borrow something of yours, doesn't take a lot of time and effort, especially if financially you're in a position to. But when it comes to giving your time and your equipment and your man hours, especially in this kind of weather, that's a special human being. And I want to tell you, Josh, you're an amazing man. Keep doing what you're doing.
So there's a lot more to this story to come. And once again, I can't tell Will and Lake TV how much I appreciate them and everything they've done. I invite you guys to follow along and keep up on these journeys and check out the rest of this documentary. It's pretty amazing everything that happens, and I can't believe it. It's just a lot to try and take in. But I really appreciate everyone. And So after Will made that episode on Lake TV about trying to help me out, he did exactly that. And he went and he started a fund to try and get me a new truck. And as unbelievable as it may sound, they were able to raise $10,000 for me. And I don't even know how to begin to thank everyone in this community and Will and just all my friends and family. You guys are absolutely just so amazing. I can't put into words how much I appreciate and love all of you guys. I am truly honored that you guys care enough about me to do that. And it's so heartwarming. I've never had anything like this happen to me in my life. And for everyone to show me so much care and compassion, it really just brought me to tears multiple times throughout all this. It's a lot to try and take in. I just thank you guys so much. And you guys are absolutely amazing, and I don't deserve it. All I'm trying to do is just keep my promise to my son. It feels like way too much for me. I am beyond honored that you guys would care enough for me to do that, and that everyone gave up out of their pockets and sacrificed so much to try and help me. I feel truly blessed to have received so much love and compassion, and to be a part of such a wonderful community and have so many awesome friends and family. And I thank everyone from the bottom of my heart for everything they've done for me. Thank you guys so much. This was my response to the community and to everyone who helped contribute to raising that $10,000 for me. I can't tell everyone how much I appreciate everything you guys did for me. I thank you guys all so much. I figured there was a lot to go through, and I had a lot that I just needed to let everybody know. So I just laid it all out on the line. This was a post I made on Facebook to just kind of let everybody know in depth what was going on and where I was coming from. This is a truly amazing community. The outpouring of love and compassion has brought me to tears many times in the last couple days. I'm struggling with a lot of emotions right now. I always just try to help people, and I guess I don't know how to receive help. So my thought is I will be open and honest with everyone and lay my heart out. I just want to be 100% honest with all of you. In order to understand where I am, I have to explain a little of where I've been. I had a little boy named Dylan that passed away premature 17 years ago. He was here for a little over 5 weeks. I was working on the road when he passed. I drove home 16 hours and was able to hold him in my arms. In that moment, I felt all the pain of the world, and I just wanted to try and fix it all for my 2-year-old son at the time. I saw how badly things were heading, and I just wanted to try and make a better world for him and for future generations. When I was holding Dylan after he passed, I promised him I would try and make the world a better place. I didn't want his life to be in vain, and to be honest, I blame myself for not being there. At that moment, I stopped caring about money or anything else. All I wanted was to try and help the world and to be with family as much as I could. Nothing else seemed to matter. It's not like I was some angel. I had made a lot of major mistakes in my life and still continued to make them, even to this day. But at the end of it all, I try to make my driving force be something positive and to always try and help the world in some way. In order to fix things, I had to learn how they work. This led me down the rabbit hole of research and learning how badly a lot of things truly are. All this brought out so many emotions. It was really hard to deal with. There were times it stressed me beyond belief. I eventually came to the conclusion that I just wanted to try and create solutions. I didn't want to complain about all the bad stuff. I wanted to try and fix it. So I simply changed my mentality, and instead of complaining about things, I always looked for solutions. I tried to share these solutions for over a decade with the world via Facebook, as it was my only tool to reach people. I eventually decided to write a book and to try and create solutions to all the world's pressing problems. I'm not saying my ideas are perfect or flawless, but they make more logical sense than what we are doing. I think if all sides just sit down across from each other and work for solutions, we could fix all the world's problems. As long as we work with peace and care in our hearts as the final goal, we could work through anything. I worked on my book for years and years. It's really hard to legitimately try and solve all the world's problems. Going that far into all the bad stuff in the world was harder and heavier than I could ever explain. I recently went through a split 2 years ago, and to be honest, I might be a little brokenhearted. My kids are also older now, and don't need me as much either, which is a real double whammy on the old heart. I just felt empty and lost in this world. So I decided to commit my life to keeping my promise to Dylan, and to take it to the next level and trying to help the world. I just want to try and create peace and help ensure a peaceful world for my kids and grandkids. I was going to lay it all out on the line and put it all out there. I took all the money I had, bought a truck, a camper, and published 200 copies of my book. I originally called it A Handbook to Freedom and World Peace, but narrowed it down to A Handbook to Freedom. I believe we all just want the freedom to do our own thing and be left alone. Conflict comes from being forced to live ways we don't want to live. I know freedom is the key to peace. As long as no one is harmed, freedom should always be the answer. I tried to be the change I wanted to see, so I decided to live out all the solutions I had written in my book. One of the main solutions is a free energy machine I invented, and I'm giving it away for free to try and help the world. I also believe strongly in community. And the only thing we can truly change is right where we are standing. We have to stop giving large governments all the power and simply do things ourselves. Logically, the only thing we can control is locally, and it's up to us to make that happen. If we all work together, we can make our community stronger and better than we could ever imagine. Self-sufficiency as a homestead or as a community is the only way we will ever be truly free. Because if we depend on someone for survival, we'll never be free. I also ran for sheriff, so I wouldn't be a hypocrite, as my main theory for solutions is to keep everything local. The sheriff has the most power in the community and is our most important resource in upholding the community's wishes. I never once legitimately wanted the job. I was only trying to share solutions. So the day I published my book, I also ran for sheriff and started a YouTube page, all at the same time. I planned to release a video a day of positivity for a year. I didn't know how to edit videos, and to be honest, I didn't really have a plan, and I still don't. I'm just winging it, and I have faith it'll all work out. I've made mistakes in this world, and I owe the IRS a lot of money from when I worked on the road. I grew up very poor, and I didn't know how to handle good money when I made it. I had people work for me for 10 years, and I never filed taxes on any of them. At one point, I had 25 guys working for me. After I lost my son, I quit working on the road and went from making good money to driving a poop truck and making a small fraction of what I did before. But I could coach my kids and was there to watch them grow up, so that's all I cared about. Years later, the IRS came, and I ended up eating everyone's taxes, as I refused to turn in the taxes I paid everyone and ruin their lives. I ended up owing the IRS $700K, but I had absolutely nothing for them to take, so they put me in an uncollectible status and said if I ever made more than $35K, they would take it. From there, I'd be in an uncollectible status, and it would go away after 10 years. I signed a paper saying I wouldn't make more than $35K, and I honestly keep to that promise. It has since been more than 10 years, and I no longer owe them that money. Since then, I've refused to pay taxes, as I feel our government is committing crimes, and I refuse to be an accessory. I feel taxation is theft, and it should be our decision to contribute to what departments we choose and how much. From there, the federal government can work from the budgets we voluntarily give them. Seeing the federal government leave people in North Carolina without any help made me also wish to refuse to pay them, and instead use my money and time to help people hands-on instead of letting them waste it. I've drawn a line in the sand, and openly refuse to pay the IRS. I do still keep my word and make less than $35K, but I keep zero records. I'm honest and live very broke. I plan to represent myself in court and stand up to the IRS all on my own if it ever comes to it. I've represented myself many times in court and won. So this all leads me to where I am now. I have endless skills from countless jobs I've done in my life. I can make good money when I work. I just have to spread it out and watch how much I work so I don't make too much money. I have a business that I call Demolition Man. My full price is $50 an hour and $150 a truckload. But I will help people in need for free. I have a sliding scale on what I feel people can afford. I can make very good money if I apply myself to doing such. I simply don't care about money though, and my heart just wants to help people all the time. Sometimes I push too hard in life. I'm like a pit bull and I don't know when to quit. I get hyper-focused and I just keep pushing and won't stop. I started my YouTube page, published my book, and ran for sheriff May 2nd. I called my YouTube page Butterfield Unleashed because I was no longer holding back and was laying it all on the line. Plus, it's just me and my dog, and I knew we would be doing some traveling. Every day since then, I've been super busy. I've spent a large majority of that time making and editing videos. I've put an extreme amount of time into making videos that try and help the world in some way. Many days I've worked over 16 hours doing nothing but editing. I'm including a link to my YouTube channel so you guys can see the documentary I've been working on the last 8 months. I've been so focused on all my other stuff, I've worked very little. I've made very good money the days I did work. And it's common to make $1,000 a day, as I always push myself very hard. I've lived off the few jobs I've done and stretched it very far. To be honest though, I probably haven't made much over $10K all year, but I'm a minimalist and my bills are only $750 a month. After the hurricane hit North Carolina, something inside me screamed to go help them. So I borrowed money from a friend, caught up on bills, and left to go out there with $430 in my pocket. I hit town in North Carolina without a single dollar, but I managed to work out there for a month at the camp in the mountains. The camp fed me and even tried to pay my bills when I wanted to leave after 2 weeks so I could work to pay my bills. But I ended up borrowing more money from back home and paying back the camp even more than they gave me. I was able to stay there and donate time for an entire month. I documented my entire journey, and I have some remarkable interviews to release when I get some time to make the videos. There were some kind souls working there that donated enough money to get me home and more. I got home and worked on a documentary for a month. All in all, I've had to borrow $5,000 to get this far, which has made it possible for me to help all these people and also make videos for the last 7 months. I have a couple different friends who always loan me money when I really need it. I always pay them back with interest, even though they never want it, and we always fight about it. But they make it to where I can survive when I have no other option, and they are good people, so I always pay back more so I can pull my weight and show my appreciation. I can't thank my friends enough who have helped me and gotten me this far. You guys are absolutely amazing and are literal lifesavers. I'm currently behind on bills and owe about $2K there as well. I recently did a little job and made $1,350 on it. I paid $200 in pressing bills and kept the rest in my wallet. To be honest, it's almost the only work I've gotten paid for in about 3 months because I have been so busy trying to help out, but that is my own fault. Then the snow and ice storm hit. I grew up loving playing in the snow, and always waited all year to drive vehicles or quads in it. One day I decided I could help people while also playing in it. I have a skill, and I might as well use it to help people in need. Every year I put it out there that I will help anyone in need. I honestly look forward to helping people and driving in it. It's the highlight of my year. So when this storm hit, I offered to help people like I do every year. I went all day every day helping people for 4 days straight. I love the adventures and got a little caught up in just helping. Sometimes people need a little extra help, and I don't mind going out of pocket. I honestly don't mind helping at all. I know I can always work and make good money when I need to. I just wanted to help as many people as possible. Then my truck broke down. When it broke down, I looked at my wallet and had $70 to my name. It was my own fault, as I get hyper-focused and just won't let stuff go sometimes. Before it broke down, I knew I'd be fine as I had a little job lined up and my necessity bills are minimal. I knew I could cover my immediate bills and work to catch up on the rest in the future. I planned to help as many people as I could in the moment. I just wasn't planning on my truck breaking down, which threw a whole new element in. I knew I'd be fine, as I have a friend who will let me borrow a work truck, so I would still be able to work and catch up. But it's two-wheel drive, and I can only work when it's not bad out. I use it in emergencies and always try to return it in better condition than I borrowed it. I then had a sinking feeling because I knew I couldn't help people anymore. I knew there were a lot of people needing help, and there was more snow on the way. It was very disheartening and weighed on me pretty heavy. So I got my truck towed home, and I made a post saying that I couldn't help out and that I was spread a little thin. I wasn't asking for anything, just trying to give a brief explanation as to why it would be a while. Since then, countless people have tried to help donate money. I feel really weird taking money, and I don't want to do it at all. I guess it's part of pride thing. It's guilt too, because there are people who need it way more than me. But it's also me accepting responsibility for my own actions. It's no one else's fault I've pushed so hard and have gotten to this point. It's my own fault, and I feel I should get myself out. But at the same time, I see many caring people wanting to help, and I feel rude not accepting their help. So I'm very, very conflicted with all of this, and don't know how to feel. I will also be honest and say my pride doesn't want to let me accept help either. Between guilt from taking from others and dealing with my own pride, I'm struggling with it all. I see money is being raised, and I've seen a goal of $50,000 towards getting me a new truck. William Holtz with Lake TV is an amazing human and is organizing it all. He does so much for this community and is truly an inspiration for everything he does. His guts and fortitude in standing up for freedom and helping this community are truly remarkable. I see he has already raised a lot of money. I can't thank everyone enough for caring enough about me to do that. I can't explain how much all that love and compassion means to me. It really has been a lot to try and comprehend. I love all of you so much. But I honestly can't have anything that nice. And I deliberately live in poverty so the IRS can't take my stuff. And I know there are people who need it so much more than I do. At 3 a.m. the other night, I went and helped out a homeless girl who had nowhere to go out of the cold and was completely stranded. I gave her $30, filled her gas tank, and got her some food. Her and countless others need it more than I do. I know I will always be alright. So here's what I want to do. I just want to try and pay it forward. I will publicly post all the money I will get and then where I spend it. Optimally, I would like to get some work in and then pay it forward for the money spent fixing my truck or getting a new used one. If anyone has any demolition work or trash hauling needing done, please let me know. My truck needs some love, and I'm still trying to diagnose what all it needs. It has a fuel problem currently. It may be the H-pop, which in case it could cost thousands, when I only paid $6,000 for it to begin with. So I was going to just sell it and get a cheap used 5.9 Cummins. But it's a good truck and it's exactly what I need. It may not be the H-pop. It may also be an injection pump, which is pretty costly, and I don't know how to do it. I could get lucky and it might be a cheap fix. I changed the fuel filter and have a couple other cheap fixes I want to try. The starter just went out too, which I can do, but I need a new one to be able to diagnose the rest of the fuel problem. I might be able to find a used one or rebuild this one for free though. I'm currently doing all of this in the snow. No matter what, it needs a flywheel as its missing teeth. I have to crawl under it and turn the engine over manually sometimes to start it, and have been doing it like this for 6 months now. It can't go like this forever. It will be a pretty costly fix as well, since the tranny has to be pulled to do it. The gas gauge doesn't work and it needs a little love in other places, but honestly it's a good truck with a reliable 7.3 engine. There is a possibility that the starter is all it needs, and I can keep limping it along for a while until I get more work. So there is a chance I can get it on the road again very cheaply. I just am not sure right now, and it's a roll of the dice. Either way, it really needs a little love. So my plan is to try and fix the truck with the money, and then pay the rest forward somehow, some way. I will openly track and show where it all goes, and include it in my documentary on YouTube. You guys are truly incredible, and I can't thank everyone enough for the outpouring of love and care you all have shown me. You guys have broke me down in tears countless times now. I wanted to be open and honest with everyone about everything, and just lay it all out there. I want to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart for all the compassion you have shown me. You guys are absolutely incredible, and I thank you all so much. This is truly an amazing community. I love you guys. Thank you all so much. This next adventure was an interview I did on KRMS 97.5, It's a local talk radio station here at Lake of the Ozarks. And Mindy Sells has a super positive segment that she does, I think, once a month. And she just comes on and talks about local things in the community that are always positive. And I love her so much for doing this for the community. It's an amazing thing to share the stories and do the things she does. And I thank her so much. Years ago, I was on an interview with her and KB once again on Key Radio. And we talked a lot about Old Man Harrelson and stuff like that. But this one, we just talked about a lot of different stuff. I unfortunately thought I recorded it. I think I accidentally deleted it, and she couldn't get it from the radio station in the old files. So unfortunately, I cannot share it with you guys. It's kind of a bummer. It was a pretty good interview, but I kind of dropped the ball on that one, and I apologize. But once again, I can't thank Mindy Sells enough for bringing me on the show and just talking about such positivity, and for KB for doing it with her. He's an awesome dude, and I really respect the heck out of KB. He's a great guy. He's the DJ there at KRMS. I really appreciate KRMS for having me on the program. Thanks a lot, guys. For those that may want to check it out, I did actually find the first interview I did with KB and Mindy on Key Radio years ago. I found it after I made the video summary for this interview, so I'm just now including it into this documentary. It was on a separate YouTube page I made, I think in 2021, 2022, and it was just a page I made to try and help the world once again. The page was called Let's Fix This Effed Up Planet, and I unfortunately only made 4 videos. But you can go back and check it out if you're interested. This segment's going to be about a interview I did with Nathan Rennie. He has a radio show that he does on Damn Radio. I'm not cussing here. That's the name of the radio. We're at Lake of the Ozarks, so they call it Damn Radio. And it's a really cool radio program. They have the freedom to pretty much do what they want. They play music. They have interviews. It's basically just a arena for local politics or talking, and just it's an open forum to where people just slug it out and put it all out there. Anyone can call in and talk to the guests and talk to the people that are on the shows, and it's a beautiful thing. I think it's an amazing thing. So check out Damn Radio every chance you get. They're awesome. He invited me to come on and talk to him about everything that was going on. I really appreciate Nathan for having me on his show. I got a lot of respect for Nathan. You know, me and him, we don't always see eye to eye, but there is one thing that we can always agree on, and that is freedom and liberty. I think that's paramount to a lot of things, and even including peace in this world. In the bigger picture, I know that all any of us want is the freedom to do our own thing and be left alone. And if we have the freedom to do that, it will help prevent countless conflicts that are caused by being forced to live by someone else's ways. Logically speaking, freedom seems to be the answer on how to create peace. I can't thank this man enough for everything he does for this community and for all the hard work he constantly puts in. He just lives to try and help create the best community he can. It's immense the amount of work that he puts in, and I really appreciate everything that he does.
All right, I got Mr. Josh Butterfield, the man, the myth, the legend, in studio with me. Josh, can you say something in the mic?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for having me on.
Okay, there we go. You are here. So, that was an interesting conversation. The first hour was about these cameras. Now I want to kind of segue. As a lot of you know, down here at the lake, Josh, for the last umpteen years, every time there's a snowstorm, you can count on seeing a post from Josh saying how much he likes snow drifting and he loves playing in the snow. And if you're stuck at home and you need a pack of smokes or you need food or you need groceries, one time I think he took a gal to Columbia. He's there for you, and he's going to do it out of the goodness of his heart. And I know the people of this area have really been supporting you. I saw your post that you had your truck broke down and you were apologizing that you couldn't help people, and it's just blown me away. I know Will Holtz kind of took up the charge and got some donations going for you, and man, I gotta say, it's beautiful to watch. As much as this county has politics in mind and things like that, we've also got a lot of heart, and I think that you really exemplify. You're a very good person. I've always said that about you. You've always had a good heart, and you've always wanted to do right by people, and I love the way the community's coming out. I really do. I hope they can get you whatever vehicle you need or get your other vehicle fixed. Tell me a little bit about what prompted you to do this.
Oh,
Pull that mic to you a little bit.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're better there.
Okay. Yeah, I just, man, I want to start by really thanking Will Holtz and everybody in the community for all the love and care, man. This is such an amazing community. I like putting it out there to try and help people. I kind of have a skill, and I like using it to help people, and everybody's really came together and just, we have such a wonderful community that's just amazing, and I really appreciate everybody, and I wanted to say I appreciate the care and compassion from everyone. And I kind of grew up a little bit rough, and I had a little bit of a rough upbringing. I was kind of poor growing up, and I just I've been through a lot, man. And I had a little boy that passed away when I was working on the road laying tile for Walmart. I was in a different state, and I was in Texas, South Padre Island, taking care of a store at the time, and I had a bunch of guys that worked for me, and big contracts. The contracts were like $50,000, $70,000 contracts for Walmart, and I had a lot of lives on the line. And I had to leave him. He was in the NICU. He was born premature. He was 1 pound even. My oldest boy was 3 pounds 11 ounces. My youngest was 1 pound 5 ounces. And they're both doing amazing. They're awesome kids, and I love them with all my heart. But unfortunately, my middle child, he was here for 5 weeks and passed away. And at the time, I drove 16 hours home, and I was able to hold him in my arms, and I promised him I'd do all I could to try and help the world. And from that moment, I felt like all the pain and sorrow in the world, and it felt like it was all on my shoulders. And I looked at my other boy, and I knew that the world was headed in a bad place, and I wanted to do something to try and fix it. And I'm not an angel by any means. I've messed up a lot in my life and done a lot of wild, crazy stuff. But at that point, money and being cool, or chasing new cars, and I used to have cars and 4-wheelers and big screens and all the fancy cool stuff. And at that moment, nothing else mattered. And I've tried to always step back in life and do something positive since then, and try and push myself to be positive in some way. And life will get you down sometimes, man, and it's hard. But I think that positivity creates more positivity, and negativity creates more negativity. And when you get in that cycle, you just got to break it and try and do something to stay positive. And I try to just do that as much as I can. And I've always kind of been the type to help people. I guess I'm empathetic because I've been in a lot of tight spots in my life, so I know what it's like to be in a tight spot. So I always try to go as hard as I can to try and help everybody, and that's just kind of what's led me to this journey.
Man, I'll say, you just said it, but people who have been in tight spots themselves are typically more empathetic, because you can relate with where somebody is. You can help see them through rather than see through them, as a friend of mine used to say. When you've experienced pain and loss and things like that, it's a lot easier to relate to people.
The rest of our interview, we went pretty far down the rabbit hole on a lot of different subjects. So we kind of veered off of the snowstorm, and it was about a little over an hour long. A lot of it was talking about politics, so I didn't necessarily think I wanted to include it into the documentary here. But feel free to go back and check out the entire interview. It was just an amazing interview, and like I said, I can't tell Nathan Rennie how much I appreciate him for everything he does, and for having me on his show, and for Damn Radio for doing all they do. So this was from the second big snowstorm that had hit us. The first one had hit, and then another little one came behind it. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to help out on the little one because my truck was broke down. But this was just a post I had made for the second big snowstorm that had hit us this year. It was on February 11th. Once again, I spent about 4 days straight helping people through this one. And I did all kinds of stuff, from taking people to the doctor, picking up medicine, delivering food, wood, just about anything you could imagine, picking up people, taking them someplace warm, just doing anything I can to try and help in any way I can. I took some random pictures and video along my journeys, so I'm just including those as a bit of a backdrop. If anyone out there needs any necessities or help from the snow, please let me know. I would gladly help free of charge. 573-286-8316. I want to send a huge thank you out to this amazing community for making it able for me to help out. Every year I always look forward to playing in the snow and helping people any way I can. Unfortunately, after 4 days of helping during the last storm, my truck broke down, It was a very costly fix, and I unfortunately had stretched myself a little thin and was in a tight spot. William Holtz is an amazing man who organized a fund to get me a new truck. You guys are all so generous and compassionate. I can't thank everyone enough for all you guys have done. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart. I won't lie, I'm usually the one helping out, and all this attention and donations really made me feel a little awkward. I know I will always be alright on my own, and it just felt wrong to me. There are people who need it so much worse than me. I kind of reclused out and went into my own little shell. I apologize for anyone that I did not get back to. I was really in my own head. But at the end of it all, I saw it was just good people with good hearts who were only trying to help me out. I understand it was just their way of trying to pay it forward and help me since I was so focused on helping others. But man, my pride had a hard time taking the money. But it put me in a moral dilemma. I felt very disrespectful not taking the help, especially when I needed it so badly. So I pondered on it and came up with a solution. I would do half and half. I took half the money and fixed my truck, bought a little Subaru, and paid off some money I had borrowed in order to donate my time in North Carolina. And now I plan to take half of it and pay it forward. I believe in raising our communities up as strong as possible and putting hands on to make our communities the best we can. I also believe in freedom and that self-sufficiency is the only way we will ever truly be free. So to pay it forward, I want to give away as many gardens as I possibly can. I will deliver dirt, seeds, and starters, as well as help build and plant the gardens. I also want to try and set up as many people as I can with chickens. I will publicly keep track of the money and where it all goes. Everyone is more than welcome to go check out my previous videos and see that all I'm trying to do is create peace and freedom in this world. I am an open book and am completely honest and open about everything. I will gladly sit down and do an interview with anyone out there, whether you agree with me or not. I even have a plan on how to keep the conversation peaceful. My number is 573-286-8316, and I will gladly sit down with anyone. All I'm trying to do is look for solutions and to try and help the world. Once again, I can't thank everyone enough for all you guys have done. I am extremely grateful to live in such an amazing community with such wonderful, caring, and compassionate people. You all are truly incredible. And a special thanks goes out to William Holtz with Lake TV. You've been an inspiration with all you do for this community, as well as your immense fortitude and always standing up for freedom. I really appreciate you, man, and everything you do for this community. Thanks a lot, Will. I love all of you guys, and I'm very thankful to call this place home. I'm deeply appreciative for everything and all the care you guys have shown me. If anyone out there needs any help from the storm, please feel free to reach out. 573-286-8316. Thanks, everyone. So that was the end of my post, but I also included a link to a update I had made and just kind of tried to explain everything and where I was heading. And you can go back and check that out. It was number 187 on this YouTube channel. It's pretty long because I go pretty in-depth as I tend to do, but feel free to go and check that out as well. This video is going to be about the third and final big snowstorm that we had for the year. We had a bunch of snowstorms, but we had 3 really big ones, and those are the ones where I always try and focus on helping people when it's really bad out. So there was quite a bit of snow for this one. I think it was the most we got hit out of all 3 as far as snow went. Unfortunately, a lot of these videos and pictures I seem to have taken at night, so I don't know why, but I guess I was just too busy during the day or something. Once again, I think I went 4 days for this storm helping people. This time I went all over. I even went to Columbia in the worst of the snowstorm to get a lady that was in the hospital and just didn't have a ride home. So I had went to Columbia and got her and got to drive in the middle of the snowstorm, drove that little Subaru. It was a good car and was a fun little adventure. Man, that car just did awesome. The snow was even so deep at points where the engine and undercarriage was dragging on the ground and I was leaving drag prints through the snow. But it still kept going, plugging right through. But this was just the post I had made to let everybody know that I was able to help out. I made this post on February 18th. Well, this storm looks like it's going to be a fun one. If anyone out there needs help, please let me know. I can deliver necessities, take people to and from the doctor, deliver medicine, or take people someplace warm if they are stranded without heat. My number is 573-286-8316. Please call or text, as these posts are a bit too much to keep up with while I'm out driving. I know the thought of being stranded is very intimidating. Just know I love the challenge, and I honestly look forward to the hard-to-reach areas. I'm an extremely good driver that can do whatever needs done. I'm sure I will be very busy, so please keep it to necessities. If I get overwhelmed, I do know people that are willing to help out too, and we will get you taken care of one way or another. I will set up a system of volunteers to reach the entire lake if it gets too bad, but I always prefer to do it myself, just because I would feel bad if something happened. But if you need help of any kind, please reach out to me. I'm honestly happy to help. I want to once again give a huge thank you to this amazing community. I helped out for 4 days straight in the last big storm until my truck broke down. I was in a tight spot, and this beautiful community rallied around me to get a new truck. I can't thank all of you enough for all the care and compassion you have shown me. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart. This is truly a great community to live in, and I am honored to call this place home and to be surrounded by such wonderful people. I did buy a Subaru Baja. It's pretty cool and like a mini truck. And I also used the money to fix my broken truck. I currently have a good gas getter and a bigger 3/4 ton truck, so I'm prepared for whatever the storm throws at us. But I don't need 2 vehicles, and I plan to sell them both after the storm. I want to get a half-ton pickup, which is the best of both worlds. If anyone wants either of my current vehicles, just let me know. They are both for sale. I do plan to pay it forward and want to give half of what I was given back to the community. I intend to try and help people build gardens, get chickens, and maybe start some fruit trees. I won't lie, I have very little gardening experience, but I have a strong back and access to a little 1-ton dump truck and will gladly deliver dirt, seeds, or starters, and I can put in the labor to help get it going. I've had a couple people reach out about community gardens, and hopefully we will be starting one in Gravois soon. I would also love to see all of our parks have community gardens, as well as lots of fruit-bearing trees that will last for centuries. One final goal I have is to start a community grocery store. Much like Bear Market, it can be a consignment store. We could bring in our freshly, locally grown items that we have an abundance of. We can have the store sell them and then get a credit. Then we can use that credit to buy other people's surplus from their gardens. This would be a completely local grocery store that would give our communities freedom and assurance we can survive in case of any disaster or breakdown in the supply chain. Save-A-Lot in Lori recently closed, and this would be the perfect spot for such an idea. I also want to start a free store and take all the extra items I get from doing trash cleanups and give them away to people in need. I literally get everything imaginable, from refrigerators to clothes and everything in between. I would much rather see it get reused instead of going in the trash. I just get overwhelmed with stuff and quickly run out of storage and have nowhere else to take it. I'm a minimalist who lives in a camper, so I don't have much space. The Save-A-Lot would be perfect for both. I actually laid all the tile in there when they first opened 20 years ago, and it's still holding strong for the most part. I also laid a majority of the tile at the Camdenton High School, as well as countless homes and businesses around here. I'm burnt out on floors and now prefer to stick to demolition, which leads me to my last subject. With all this cold, I'm sure people will end up with some busted pipes and some flooding. Time is of the essence to stop mold, and I will get to it as soon as possible once people no longer need help and are able to get on the roads again. Probably Friday. If anyone needs any demo work done, please give me a call. I can demo sheetrock, kitchens, bathrooms, floors, decks, or entire buildings if need be. I can also clean up property you're buying or selling, or clean up after renters. And if you're wanting to do some spring cleaning and clean out the garage or yard, I will gladly help clean up there as well. But if anyone needs help of any kind, please feel free to reach out. My phone number is 573-286-8316. I honestly don't mind at all, so don't be shy if you need assistance. Thanks everyone, and I hope you all have a wonderful snow day. So this was the last snow day that I was able to go and help out on. I think we might have had a little dusting here and there, but this was the last main big snow. This year was really just a remarkable experience. Like I said, I do it every year, but this year was just really amazing and really heavy. There was a lot, and the community is so wonderful here. Everyone showed me so much love and care, and it was just such a remarkable journey that I went on through all of this. The amount of love and care and support I got from everyone was unlike anything I'd ever seen in my life before. And I just thank all of you guys from the very bottom of my heart for everything. I feel very lucky to live in such a great and wonderful community and to have such great and wonderful friends and family. I love all of you guys. Thank you all so much. I guess what I'm trying to say is at the end of it, I know that I will always be all right. I have so many skills in this world that I can use and so many different ways I could survive in this world. That's not even a question to me. If I focus my time on that, I'm fine. I'm choosing to spend my time focusing it on trying to help people. And that unfortunately takes money. I've tried to do it very budget friendly, but I mean, I've had to borrow money from friends. I've had to do just about everything I can to try and be able to make this happen. And it's spread me so thin that I would be going into debt. I would be giving up everything I own plus going into debt if it hadn't been for you guys. And now with you guys at the end of it, I may actually end up with, I got a plan for a little Jeep. I bought it for $1,600. I got it on a good deal from a buddy, and I am going to use that to pull a little camper. I wanted to make it in the truck bed camper, but I think it's going to actually work better on a little trailer, and then I could pull it with a Jeep and disconnect the Jeep, and there's just so many different ways I could end up with it. It's half a camper currently. I'm willing to be engineering it, making the top half plexiglass and all see-through and cool. And I just have a really big idea on all that. I bought that for $1,000, and I just really appreciate everybody for me to be able to do that. I mean, I wouldn't have had anything left if it wouldn't have been for you guys. And so you guys are still making it to where I'll have my dream home, actually, because I don't want much in this world. That is all I want. I know it sounds crazy that all I want is a house the size of a truck bed, but that is what I want, and a Jeep. But it works perfect. I'll be able to even get a little four-wheeler and slide it underneath. But it'll work out great because I'll have everything just the way I want it. It will all be paid for. I'll have absolute freedom to go anywhere I want in the world, and I'll have nothing as far as a budget. I won't have hardly anything as far as the cost of living goes. So life will be super easy, really, because if you don't need much, you don't cost much, and it makes it to where you have time to go do all the things you want to do in this world. So if you just give up everything, you in turn get time. And I think that time is the most important thing on this planet, and it's more important than money could ever be. So I just try to spend my time doing what I want to do. But that's all I want in this world, and I'm happy with that. That's great. And to me, it just seems like the greatest thing I could ever possibly have. And you guys have made that possible. And so I'm going to walk away with about $5,000, which is about half. It's just rough. But about half of what the community donated me, and I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't have had anything if it wouldn't have been for you guys. And I'm able to go and have things in life and have my dreams fulfilled. And it's just, it works out great. So even though I didn't get a truck, I still got everything I wanted in this world because I don't want much. So it works out perfect. And what I wanted more than anything was to keep my promise to my son, and you guys did that, and I hope you know how important that is to me and how much it means. And that's the biggest thing. I don't care about a truck, but I do care about what you helped me do, and you guys helping me keep my promise to my son. That is what matters more than I could ever explain to any of you guys. And so you guys have helped me pay back my debts a little bit, and you've made it to where I could just keep going. And I'm gonna pay half of it forward, and so I'm starting a little separate documentary for the gardens and stuff. I've had obstacles arise to where I haven't been able to deliver the gardens as much between everything going on. The clutch went out on the dump truck for the gardens, so we're getting that fixed. And there's just a bunch of obstacles that I've had to try and overcome, but I'm still going to do it. And whatever I run out of time for the gardens, I'm going to just go ahead and plant fruit trees at city parks and spend the rest of the money that way. But I'm going to be all open and honest with it, and I want to keep it all out in the open. I try to deliver gardens every year. I'll be, once again, 100% honest and say I don't know how to garden at all. I'm not very good, but I do have 2 strong hands and a strong back, and I have capabilities to deliver dirt and help work the dirt, work the earth, and do all the hard work that's needed to be done. I'm not good at raising the plants, and I'm not good at keeping them alive and all that, but I am good at work. That's what I'm just asking, is if everybody out there that's wanting gardens and stuff, they have to be able to keep it going, but I'll help start it for sure. And that's all I'm trying to do. That's what I see the answer to all this is everybody just coming together as a community and putting our arms around each other and helping raise each other up right here locally. And that's all we can do in this world. And if we work to be self-sufficient as a family or as a community, we'd be all right. And we wouldn't have to worry about anything else. And I just want to see us be able to achieve that. So I'm working with all I can to try and make that a reality. I think that is a good idea no matter how you cut it. Right now, it helps you eat healthier and cleaner, and if whatever economic collapse or whatever happens, then we're going to be prepared and not nearly as worried. So it's all around a good idea, and just what I'm trying to strive for in the world. I'm just trying to be the change I want to see, and do something positive. So that's pretty much where I'm at on this whole journey, and with everything. I'm continuing on. I'm going to, like I said, start another documentary of the gardens, and I want to keep track of where $5,000 of the money goes, and I'm going to try and plant fruit trees in the parks because I know that'll be something that'll last forever and won't be as hard to maintain as a garden, and it'll just be something public that everybody can have access to. So that's what I'm trying to achieve. It's just a little bit of positivity. I love playing in the snow and stuff. So everybody that I was able to come and help out this winter, I appreciate you for reaching out to me and for giving me the chance to help. I really enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun, and it's cool going on adventures for me. I know it sounds wild, but I enjoy it. So thank you. I can't give this amazing community enough credit and enough thanks for everything. You guys have broke me down to tears so many times for all this with just your outpouring of love and compassion we have the most beautiful community here. And my friends and family, you guys are all just great. You guys help me out so much in this world, and I just appreciate all of you guys so much. I want to thank everyone from the bottom of my heart. This year was quite the adventure, and it was just unbelievable, everything to witness and be a part of. It was really something that was really amazing, and I thank you guys for the experience. It was just unreal. I appreciate you guys more than I could ever explain. Thank you so much. So I'm closing out this documentary with a quick little video. It's from a fun little day I had drifting the roundabout at KK there on KK and Osage Beach. This footage was actually from years and years ago. There was no cars. It was all wide open. There was nobody out on the roads. It was just me. But I can't resist myself. It's so much fun. And if there's nobody around, I mean, no victim, no crime, right? I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not doing anything bad. It's just me. So anytime you have a chance to let loose and have fun in this world, you got to do it. I'm a firm believer that you should nurture your inner child and take every chance you get to enjoy the little things. So I figured I'd close this all out with my favorite thing to do. Thank you all for hearing my story and for watching this documentary. So my friends Daniel Bubermeyer and Kat Labarty, they wrote this song during the snowstorm. They were just bored and sitting at home and reading what was happening on all the local Facebook groups. Here at Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri, we have a couple big community boards where everyone's allowed to post. One's called Lake Area Happenings. It's the biggest one and has almost 100,000 people in it. And the other one's called Lake Ozark Area Local Happenings. There are actually quite a few sites like that around here. We're very locally oriented, which is awesome. And so they were reading everything that was going on there and happening in the community, and they just wrote a song off everything they saw on the site. I think it's freaking hilarious. It's so funny. But they included me a lot in the song. Every year when it snows, I always look forward to going out and trying to help people in the snow. I'll take them to the doctor, or bring them medicine or supplies, or even bring them firewood if they need it. Unfortunately, my truck broke down in the middle of helping out this year, and this wonderful community rallied around me and threw down money to help get me a new truck. I sincerely thank all of you from the bottom of my heart. The song basically tells the story of everything that was happening here at Lake of the Ozarks. We're like the second biggest man-made lake here, and it was just really super snowy and cold and icy, and everything was all frozen over. Heck, I think the lake was even frozen over. But it was in the middle of winter, and this was the song they wrote. And I think it's equal parts hilarious and also inspirational and heartwarming. This is meant as a lighthearted video. I hope nobody takes offense. It's just all in good fun. Daniel just sings his heart out through this song, and he's an awesome dude. He actually went out to North Carolina 3 separate times. Once before I even went out there, and twice while I was out there. He put a lot of heart and soul into going out there and helping the people and into everything he does, and even in this song, it's beautiful. I can't thank this man enough for everything he did to help the people of North Carolina. I watched him put his whole business and life on hold and spend thousands and thousands of dollars to go out there and bring essentials and put in massive amounts of work and even bring other people with him, all who I greatly thank as well. For the record, I just wanted to let everybody know he just straight threw this out on Facebook Messenger and played it all at once and just gangster rolled it all at once and dropped this song and didn't even look back. Just dropped it one time, sent it via Facebook Messenger, and didn't even think twice about it. And I had a heck of a time trying to figure out how to get it from Facebook Messenger to be able to get on my program to where I can download it. And I even had to get my brother Jesse involved. He's a computer genius in Nebraska, and he plays in some bands, and he's really super talented musically as well. And hopefully maybe one day they can collab. It's like a community effort of everybody coming together to make this happen, and it's all been such a beautiful experience. I greatly appreciate all of you, and you all are absolutely amazing.
call 573-286-8316. He'll bring you firewood that you need for free. You see, Rose, Highway's long-term boyfriend, was caught cheating. Then they decided to go to the bar. Rose will be okay. They're tough, you see. Please pray for Rose. Now get over this. Now get over this. Thunder, snow, and lightning. Oh, very, very frightening. I really said that's what I figured. Nope, I'm getting out. Gonna drive like a bat out of hell. But if you get stuck, Butterfield's gonna get you out for free. Just call 573-286-8316. After he gets his 4x4 fixed, he'll bring you firewood that you need for free. Anyone know how the boat ramps are? This is definitely hovercraft weather. Can I get a vigil, please? Got duck hunting to do this week. Slicker than snot, slicker than shit. Hashtag angry pirates. Thunder, snow, and lightning. Oh, very, very frightening. Bob Haley said that's what I figured. I'm getting out. Gonna drive like a bat out of hell. But if you get stuck, Butterfield's gonna get you out for free. Just call 573-286-8316. He'll get you the firewood that you need for free. Whenever sun has shone, by streams they'll never find the sea. Over snow by winter sown, and through the merry flowers of June. Over grass and over stone, and under mountains in the moon. Thank you for listening. Stuck. Butterfield will get me out for free. Just call 573-286-8316. Oh, after he gets his 4x4 fix, they'll get you firewood you need for free. Thanks, Lake and Chris. Be slick as careful out.
Huge thanks goes out to Daniel and Kat for making such an awesome song. I really appreciate you guys. I've put a lot of work into making this documentary. Thanks for taking the time to watch it. I appreciate my friends and family and community so much, and I love all of you guys so much. Thank you all for such an amazing journey and such a crazy, wild ride. Usually I'm the one giving people wild rides, and this time I was the one taking the wild ride, except this time it was my life as a whole, and you guys all helped guide me down it and helped make it happen, and you all were part of it. It was just a great big community effort. This has truly really been one of the most incredible experiences of my entire life, and I thank all of you for being a part of it.